In this session, let us understand what is Iframe tag in HTML. Iframe stands for inline frame. This defines a rectangular region within the document in which the browser can display a separate document including scroll bars and borders. That is, an inline frame is used to embed another HTML document within the current HTML document. The syntax for iframe tag is opening tag of iframe, within which there will be some attributes, and one of the basic attributes to be defined inside the iframe tag is src, and the value of src should be the URL of the document to be embedded in the current HTML document. Then comes the closing tag of iframe. So this is the basic syntax for defining the iframe tag. Now let us see some attributes that are used with iframe. So one of the attributes we have seen before, that is src. Another attribute is name. This attribute is used to specify a reference or a name for an iframe element. Then comes the src attribute, which we have already seen in the syntax of iframe. It specifies the URL of the document that are to be embedded in the iframe. Another attribute used with iframe is height. Height specifies the height of the iframe in terms of pixels. So this height is specified in terms of pixels, and the default value of height is 150 pixels. Next comes width. Width attribute specifies the width of the iframe in terms of pixel, and the default value of this width attribute is 300 pixels. Now let us understand the working of iframe with the help of an example. Here you can see a sample program that explains how iframe tag works. So inside the body tag, I have included a heading in order to describe what it represents. Then comes the iframe tags. So here I am going to define two different frames inside a particular web document. So we are trying to load two separate frames, and each of these frames will be having two different documents loaded inside that. So first frame is defined using an iframe tag, that is iframe. Then the value of the URL is given inside the value part of src attribute. So src is equal to a.html. A.html is the document to be loaded into the first frame. And another frame is defined using another iframe tag, and inside that the URL is specified as b.html. So here b.html is the file that is to be loaded within this particular frame. So each of these iframe will be having closing tags, and it is closed here. After that, body tag is closed and HTML tag is also closed. Now let us see what is written in a.html and b.html. So let us open the file a.html. So in a.html, we have defined a paragraph, that is, this is the first frame. So this content will be displayed in the first frame of the web document that we are currently at. Now let us see what is in b.html. Inside b.html, another paragraph is written, that is, this is the second frame. Now let us execute this using any web browser, iframe, and you can see the output here. So we have written HTML frame inside the file iframe, and we have created two different frames, and in each of these frames some other web documents are loaded, and here is the first frame where we have given the URL as a.html, and inside a.html we have defined a paragraph, that is, this is the first frame. So this is loaded inside this particular frame, and in the second frame another web document is embedded inside this document, that is, this is the second frame. That is what we have written in the b.html file. So this is how different frames are created using iframe tag, and different web documents can be loaded inside the currently executing document. Now if you want to make some changes in any of these frames, then you can do this by changing the code of that particular document that is to be loaded inside this frame. So let us change some code here. So here this is b.html file, and inside this let us try to load an image also. So for loading an image, for including an image in a document, you can use the img tag, and the attribute to be included here is src, and the URL of that particular picture is to be loaded here. So let me give pic.jpg, and let's see what happens. Save this document and we'll try to run this again. Now you can see that the image is loaded here, and some scroll bar is also added along with it, because the image is having a size that is more than the frame size. So that is why a scroll bar is given here. So this is how you can create different frames using iframe tag. Now if you want to change the height and width of this particular frame, then it can be done with the help of the attributes height and width. So by default it is having some particular height and width, and if you want to change that, it can also be done within the iframe. So let us see how height and width can be changed with the help of height and width attributes. Let's say height is equal to 300 and width is equal to 400. So these are specified in pixels. Now let us execute this code and see what changes have been caused in that particular document. So here you can see that we have modified the height and width of the first frame, and the size has been changed. So this is how you can use different attributes inside the iframe tag. So this is the program that explains how an iframe works. Hope you understood the concept. Thank you.